All right. Game number 2, ladies and gents. Yeah, how long do we got? Did I say game number 2? Sorry, I meant to say set number 2. This is game number 1. Forgive me. We've got TaToH. He opened up in the first round with a 2-1 victory over MBL. And TaToH, in many people's eyes, is always expected to go deep in the tournament. So you look at this group. This is the group that many consider the group of death. It's very competitive. You've got TaToH and Capoch. You've then got Dogal, Vinchester, MBL, and then ACCM, who's undefeated so far. Now, TaToH got the 2 wins from the first round. Capoch, what is this? Hold on, look at what is this map? Well, this is unintended. It's not actually a bug per se, but this is an extremely rocky forest. So we've got TaToH who got 2 wins, and then we got Capoch who got 0 wins from his first round. He was close. He got very close to 2 victories against ACCM, but ACCM would never die. So this is very important for Capoch. He's got to get some wins on the board. Many predictions predicted that he would fall into 5th or 6th position and be relegated. And honestly, I think it's pretty realistic. I think most people would have TaToH. Most people would have Vinchester. Most people would have MBL and ACCM all above Capoch. I think the only argument then is, would it be against Dogal? Now, we'll obviously have to look at this later. Random map scripting is really tough. Occasionally, there can just be that one generation that is kind of odd. The way the map's designed is to have a lot of rocky terrain so players can't wall. That would be the case. And both of their goals are very close towards the rocky terrain. Now, there's more rocky terrain here for Capoch. Like, this additional rocky area could, in theory, be awkward. But I think that it's not how close the rocky terrain is to the gold. It's how little space there is to build TCs and buildings in the very middle here that changes things. So, it's a weird one. But it's rocky forest that you're never going to be able to wall regardless. And Capoch bringing in all his food right now. And he's got the Chinese. So, I think that the Chinese are the superior civilization here. But I think they are the more difficult civilization to play. The start is fairly easy if you can push in some deer at this level. Now with the auto drop-off hotkey. But it's early feudal that things can get really dicey. And if TaToH has a super quick uptime here, which it looks like he's building up to, he just went over to wood now. So he's had everything on food. That's the thing you can do with the Khmers. You can skip some timings, you can skip some buildings, and he could get army out so much faster than Capoch, and it could be tough for Capoch to survive. So if things get messy, better for Khmer. If things start fast, way better for Khmer. And so that's TaToH's plan here. Would expect him to go like 18 pop. He might even be able to do 18 pop no loom. This could be a crazy uptime. He'll come over here, head over to the pigs, get the additional pigs. And yeah, 18 pop no loom. This uptime is going to be basically impossible for the Chinese to match. But there's more workers for Capoch, and he'll have more resources collected and cheaper tech. So it is essentially down to defense in the early stages here for Capoch. Tire Thunder Horses, thank you for the prime. Thank you, Cernic. Welcome back. Thanks for almost 2 years. I guess at the conclusion of this season, we'll be at 2 years. Thanks. Thanks again, no one of consequence. I think I missed Packrell as well. Packrell just said hot tub with the resub. I just called it hot sub. Oh, man, I haven't had a hot sub in a long time. Thank you. Thank you very much. I was talking about the food. I was not talking about any of my subs here being hot. FYI. You could skip the barracks if you're TaToH. So it'll just be stable opening and scouts. And Capoch, he's just walked through here. So he should know the opponent's TC is around then. Huh? Well, I'm surprised that he kept going. I'm also surprised TaToH didn't garrison there. TaToH, though, might see this scout. If he sees the scout, he might not want to push this deer anymore. But looks like Capoch is just going to sneak away. You actually want to be... You want to be as far away from the middle as possible right now. You do not want your scout getting hit by the fast feudal scout. And everything that I've said is expected, by the way. So there shouldn't be any massive surprises here. And Capoch will know that the Khmer are going to be off to a really fast start. So I will say this. This is kind of interesting. TaToH hasn't even built a mill. So TaToH is farming before a mill, which you can only do with the Khmer. Now, some people are going to say, man, like, you should get horse collar here. Yeah, but then your vills are exposed later on. So this simplifies the approach even more. Get those farms out really fast, get the scouts out really fast. And the only area he'll really be exposed is here. I like how TaToH's lumber camp is directly next to his gold. It's similar for Capoch. I would have actually preferred the lumber camp be here. Because we've seen instances where you can tower and kind of protect both resources here. A spearman coming forward from Capoch, and this is a big approach against the Khmer. They will not have spearmen of their own. So you don't just want to match them with scouts. You want your scouts with some spearmen to be aggressive. And TaToH doesn't want to mess around with that at all. Feels like an early tower, but again, the approach from TaToH is simplify, make it easy for yourself. And he goes for that tower before this gets too crazy. I like that. What's up, Brave Sarav? And yes, the duel of the Spanish speakers. I mean, there are other Spanish speakers as well in this tournament. This is a big one for anyone who's typically rooting for players from Spain, players from Argentina. I mean, it doesn't get much bigger than Capoch and TaToH. Look at the amount of farms here for TaToH. 8 farms up already. And again, you notice now how he can't be attacked. It's really smart. I think a lot of players would just build the mill to go to horse collar, but then they delay their farms, and they have some bigger problems right now. Nice job, though, from Capoch. Capoch does need to double check. It feels like TaToH is sitting there waiting for that bush to be eaten. Yeah, he's definitely waiting for that. TaToH is watching the forage bush. And Capoch is frustrated because he can't do damage here. I want to go back. Does Capoch see this? No way he actually gets away with this, right? Now, Capoch should know. And Capoch saw it, had an idea. The bush is at 10 food. TaToH will aim to snipe this spearman. The spearman only got 1 hit. That was not great. And Capoch really has to be keeping a close eye on that. And yeah, he moves it. Now, the vills will, they're eventually just going to automatically move to that bush, though, so you do need some army here. And Capoch lost another spearman here. So he's lost 3 of his spears so far. 2 to the TC, 1 to the scouts. But he's still got the Vill lead. And he's still Chinese. But that is a lot of scouts from TaToH. Oh my goodness. The spears are kind of wedged in there. TaToH's just not going to give him any time to react here. And oh my goodness. TaToH's scouts, though, I mean, they couldn't get the grouping on the Vills. Look how many of them got hit. It's a really awkward area to move around in there. And I think Capoch just had enough. Capoch does have horse collar. Capoch can make more scouts. This could be an opportunity for TaToH to maybe switch to archers, and he's going to do that now. When your opponent's scout number is this low, it makes sense. And first villager goes down, but TaToH's scouts are all very weak here. He's got 107 HP on 270, on possible 270 HP, and then he loses one of them. Nice opening from Capoch. I know that losing the spearman looked a little sloppy, but again, you have one job here. And that job is not to do counter damage as Chinese. That job is to get to this state of the game without taking heavy losses. Not easy to do against TaToH. Not easy to do against the Khmer. And now, your eco should be flying. Remember, those farms are going to last for a really long time as well, because he's Chinese and he also snagged horse collar. That's not the case for TaToH. But this feels like all-in full feudal here from TaToH. We've got more scouts being produced behind, plus we have the archers. I think we'll see bloodlines. I think we'll see upgrades. And I wonder if Capoch will do the same. Capoch just dropped a blacksmith. I love this decision. So he didn't actually add a range because he's not concerned about his opponent's spearmen. So he recognizes that full scouts could actually work. If TaToH had a barracks, it'd be different. Let's see how many scouts Capoch actually produces here, because you're going to feel some pressure that your opponent may go to castle age faster than you. This is all he's seen, right? He's not seen the follow-up army. He doesn't exactly know that TaToH's doing that. Only we do. And there's TaToH's army. Man, that's a crazy army there. And Capoch sees it. Okay, so, I mean, that's his heads up that he's going to need to have more army around. He doesn't have a tower yet. I wonder where you'd tower. Would you tower on the other side of the barracks in the house here so it covers the opening? You might need to just tower the wood, honestly. He doesn't know about the archers yet from TaToH. TaToH's getting forging. TaToH's getting bloodlines. It's crazy numbers. Still no tower from Capoch. Now he sees archers, though. He has a decision to make. There's more army there from TaToH. No bloodlines for Capoch. He needs one more gold for that, believe it or not. One more gold. This would be TaToH's time for the fight. There's no better time for the engagement. The archers there have fletching. The scouts have better upgrades and better numbers. Bloodlines is still not in for Capoch. Look at the patience from both of them, but especially TaToH. Capoch adding another stable. Capoch still waiting. Still no tower. He just needed the gold for bloodlines, though. Oh, man, this is ridiculous. And Capoch will aim to get around the archers. He'll get some hits there, and he'll stay in the fight. This is a good fight for Capoch. That was such crazy patience. The fact that he was that patient when all that pressure was right next to his base is unreal to me. He'll clear up the archers. He pushes away the scouts. Still, TaToH's scouts are way stronger because of bloodlines. Capoch is going to have some work to do there. But to not panic and build a tower, to essentially hold here is impressive. And TaToH's thinking, I have bloodlines, he doesn't. This should be a better fight for me. But remember, a lot of the scouts were weak. And now we have bloodlines on the way for Capoch. I mean, if Capoch gets bloodlines, these fights will be so good for him. But he just didn't have it there. And oof, nice turnaround for TaToH. TaToH still never took the berries. A berryless life here. Archers, scouts. Now, it'll be tough for TaToH as he loses a scout to get this army grouped up with the next. Like this, they're going to try and meet up, but I don't know how you easily do that. Still, all this time, Capoch has only lost one build. This economy from Capoch is unbelievable. The thing about TaToH, he loves his full feudal, full castle age situations, but so does Capoch. So I think where Capoch struggles compared to most of the other top players these days is the tiny little advantages to the next stage. Capoch loves the chaos. And Capoch says, bring me the chaos, TaToH. I'm all about that. And here he goes again. TaToH's just not expecting Capoch to be producing this much army. And Capoch just continues. That's a good fight for Capoch. He'll clear up the archers. He'll push back the scouts. And he's got more scouts coming. TaToH will have no defense. He can't make spears. Right? He doesn't have a barracks yet. And Capoch might be pretty far away from Castle Age, but he's dropping stable number 3. He's got farms galore around his TC. And now look at TaToH's economy. How's he supposed to defend this? Capoch needs to dive. This needs to be, in my opinion, continuous production. He may still want to go Castle Age, but if he goes full feudal right now, he kills TaToH. TaToH's completely dead. But it's not that clear to him. You don't want to run past the tower. You don't know exactly what TaToH has back there, and so he really doesn't want to dive into this choke point, which is understandable. TaToH's still producing some scouts to protect. And TaToH saves that Vil. Capoch on the way to Castle Age as well. And so far, the scouts have not done what they maybe could do for Capoch. I think maybe I'm oversimplifying it, by the way. I don't know if diving here would have necessarily resulted in as many kills as I was thinking. TaToH dropped some walls, which would help. There's the tower, too. Still no tower for Capoch, which is crazy. He really has to keep track of those archers from TaToH. Guys, I'm going to say this again. I said this when Capoch got 3-0'd by ACCM. I'm really impressed with Capoch's level. Anybody else? I mean, he is... I don't know. Over the last year or two, I haven't really had Capoch hugely in my top 16 thoughts, honestly. And this has felt like it so far. It feels like he can definitely survive in this group. The great defense here. Just enough timing. He needs the tower. He'll drop the tower. Tower will be up at the perfect time. Still has scouts that could hit TaToH. He's 50 seconds away from Castle Age. TaToH's army's moving around, but he can't move in towards the wood or the gold, which is the biggest thing. The only thing he'll do over here really is delay a couple farms. What a game, though. This is a sick game. TaToH's going to go Cav Archers now with the Khmer. He didn't play bad against ACCM. ACCM was just insane. I agree with you. ACCM's been insane. +2 armor immediately for Capoch and light cav. So this army's likely to get picked off from TaToH. I don't see how it escapes, but it could get value before those upgrades come in. Either on Vils or on the army. I mean, I would just go for Vils at this point. You know you're going to lose your army. Kind of a tough area to engage right now for both players. But it's more awkward for Capoch. Capoch's eco is not enjoying this. The TaToH kills one Vil. May get another. Wow. Capoch saves it all. And Capoch will kill this as well. The fact that Capoch has only lost 2 Vils there is wild. And he's got light cav on the other side. And the fact that TaToH didn't lose a villager here is wild. TaToH defends. Okay, he lost 1. But all this gets cleared up. And now is when you start to get a little concerned if you're TaToH. This is a big army, man. And TaToH's little crossbow army will do very little. The Cav Archer mass... I mean, at what point can you really call it a mass? I don't think 6 is a mass. That's a group. That's a crew. That's just not the numbers you need right now. And I guess he's kind of walled on the wood line, but I really think that Capoch has some opportunities to make it messy here. Now, when TCs have Bodkin, though, you don't really want to be doing that because the TCs could take you out. I just think you do it anyways. You just got to get some units in anyways. TaToH fails to get some quick walls. The Cav Archers and the crossbows are dealing with one group. The wood line is getting slaughtered. Capoch has another group looping around this way. So TaToH's now lost 6 villagers. It will be more. And Capoch also full control of the middle. I'd love to see a siege workshop there, maybe. Again, with this awkward generation, we don't really... There's not a lot of space there. And, ooh, a sneaky counterattack from TaToH on the other side. Capoch is just destroying TaToH's eco. So TaToH needs some counters. This is what Capoch loves to do, man. He'll just toss army in for Vil kills all the time. TaToH will go for some counters. Get 1. Maybe he'll get 2, but this is tough. He's no control. Capoch, 10 population lead. The idle time for TaToH is absolutely insane compared to Capoch. Capoch actually wedges a TC into there, which is crazy. Still dealing with this. Still raiding here. Now, this can eventually get to a point. TaToH hasn't taken many losses on a CA. And so when you raid like that and get Vil kills and you lose army because of it with knights, it could get to a point now where you're on 2 TCs and it's actually really tough for you to produce more knights for a while. So, Vil snipes were great. TaToH's still only 3 Vils behind, and he is getting ballistics, and he still has a healthy massive CA. But I like what Capoch is doing. I think what would have been so key for him is a siege workshop. Oh, God. Great engagement there for Capoch. I would have loved to see a siege workshop in the middle from Capoch. A couple scorpions to mix in here with against the CA would be really helpful. The monk's the right idea to heal up. You can't build anywhere around your TC right now because of the rocky terrain. Feels like the play for Capoch is going to be his own Cav Archers. I see him dropping another range. But Capoch is scared to take engagements against these Cav Archers right now. And now Capoch has a lot of vital time. And Capoch's wood eco isn't even here anymore. It's right next to this TC. Typical Capoch, man. Counterattack. Right when TaToH thinks he's got him pinned, it will be a sneak around the outside. I love the healing. Without the monks here, this would look pretty questionable, but the healing underneath the TC is massive. And here we go. Capoch counterattacks. TaToH sees it, but while he quick walls, there's 3 Vils here that can get killed. He hops into the house with one of them, but nice villager picks. So Capoch is actually going elite skirm. That obviously makes sense. So he'll want skirms, and now his knights are actually going to raid TaToH again. Capoch is defending with very little right now. So many of his Vils are just inside of TCs, but he's just going to send it anyways. Go kill TaToH. That's a madman for you. This TC is also crazy. You don't know if those CA are coming back, but Capoch just doesn't care, man. Oh, maybe he does care. He's running away. This TC's wild to me. Okay, I think he's sensing now that the CA... Oh, he can see everything, yeah. So he sees the CA are on the way. He still doesn't really have the skirm numbers or upgrades. So that switch is not going to be as immediately valuable as he's hoping for. This economic situation is rough for Capoch. But it also hasn't been the prettiest for TaToH. I think it has been better for TaToH over the last minute, though. This might be the longest Rocky Forest game we've had. We really haven't had many long ones so far. As the competition gets better, as players figure out how others are playing maps, you would expect it to be closer. This feels like this might go imp. And there's so little space to move around in the middle here. TaToH's actually chopping through, so he may be able to get some of this area. What a close game, guys. This is such a good one. And there's the Siege Workshop finally from Capoch. This army getting pushed away by TaToH. TaToH, I think he does have husbandry now. Maybe he didn't have it before. TaToH should kill these knights. Yeah, that's a nice find. But if he chases them, that should be a couple knights unless Capoch really micros them. Maybe Capoch saves the final one. I don't think Capoch is really one to dodge ballistics there. That's a lot on stone right now for Capoch, so he's definitely thinking castle in the middle. How is TaToH supposed to clear this army up? Now, there's still no armor on the skirms. There's still no ballistics, so they may not necessarily get the value you'd want, but... If TaToH's army is on the outside, and Capoch just lost the knight there, so he'll know that. Capoch could control the middle. And we see more army production from TaToH, but TaToH sees the knights are here. And now Capoch sees the cav archers are back here. And Capoch is bringing the skirms now. Knights are still around. Knights are still really strong at sniping those vills, delaying TaToH. And now Capoch has skirms. He still doesn't have armor and ballistics, though. So, I mean, the first armor's the very least necessary. In the middle, Capoch falls back to his monks. He's got his siege workshop there, too. TaToH probably continually surprised at just how much Capoch has. This is going to be a crazy pushback from TaToH. I think the most TaToH thing ever would be +2 on the knights, and just full knights, full CA, full, like, everything. Just full send. And that's the most Capoch thing ever as well. But it's crazy how patient Capoch is being with the siege. He's waiting until that big attack starts near a castle, I think. TaToH's producing lots of vills. He's going light cav instead of knights. It's hard to produce cav archers and knights at the same time, though. That's a lot of gold. There goes another TC. Here comes the group from Capoch. Now, from TaToH, sorry. I think Capoch assumed that that army was going around and back to the middle. And a big fight here. I don't expect there to be any chance for TaToH to win this fight. The siege hops out. TaToH has his army on the backside. He needs to be in the middle right now. This would be the opportunity for Capoch to build that castle. And did you see that foundation? For a second, the foundation was actually right there. Which, I mean, maybe that wins you the game. I don't know. But I think the safe one is maybe just right behind your army, Capoch. Bro, dude. Dude, I mean, that's insane, dude. That is absolutely insane that Capoch is about to build that castle. He is going to send it. TaToH sees the vills. TaToH still has all this army. Some of that has to be microed. Capoch has to be careful not to destroy his own castle foundation if he has siege here. But is he actually gonna... He actually starts building this. Some of the vills aren't involved yet. A lot of the vills aren't involved yet. I think Capoch is looking back here. Villagers. Yo. These are the 3 people at work right now watching Titans League instead of actually doing their job. That's what you guys look like. Okay, now they're back to work. The boss is showing up. Boss is showing up. They gotta look like they're working. And that castle's going up, man. That castle's actually going up. That's crazy. What is TaToH supposed to do now? Like, this castle stops all the army from coming through. All the army has to go to the outside now. So, I think Capoch can just go clear this now. I mean, not to mention that it allows Capoch's army to just move through. And now TaToH's building his own castle. Capoch is coming through with skirms and with knights to deny this. His siege is still a little bit behind everything, but I don't know. This might be a doubt castle for TaToH. There's no way TaToH can complete that. Are you kidding me, man? Capoch has basically ignored this army, ignored the back of his base, and has just been sending everything he can to the front. What a crazy performance from Capoch. And guys, like, the only thing I'll say, I think Capoch just killed a bunch of his own units. He did, but that's fine. The only thing I'll say is gold. TaToH's got this gold. Where else is he supposed to get gold? Like, he could maybe go sneak for this gold. He was chopping this. This is actually open, so he might be able to sneak out and take a gold. But when you lose the middle on this map, it's so critical. And there's no army that allows him to push through this castle at Castle Age. But here we go. Here we go. Capoch's siege will get sniped. TaToH's army is all focused on defending this castle. It's going to be a weird one because that castle took so much damage. It will be on fire once it completes. So I don't know if you have to repair that or what you really do. I guess you do have to repair it. But it does go up, and Capoch lost a lot of army. And Capoch could lose his skirms here. Capoch really needs to pull back to his castle. And TaToH is going to TC out here. Now Capoch is building a castle here. I think he's concerned that that army from TaToH can make it into his main eco, and he doesn't want that. That's actually really smart. I also really like the decision from Capoch to make Chukunu with skirms here. Chukunu skirm might be your best comp instead of continuing with knights. You have the castle. You'll have 2 castles for the Chukunu. You already have good ranged upgrades. Chukunu are good enough against knights. Yeah, TaToH can't take a good fight here. That's just not going to be a good enough fight for TaToH. Well, there's only 2 Chukunu. I'm stupid, but still, the Cav archers can't advance through. Capoch will probably figure that out. Feels like Imp is really important now. Especially for TaToH, because he will only have so much gold. So he won't really be able to make that many trebs. Capoch actually ran out of golds. So he's been very light on golds here for a few moments. It's a very crazy game. Ooh, big moment. TaToH's attempting to build a castle to secure the middle and to secure the golds. There's not many Chukunu from Capoch. I was expecting greater production there. I think TaToH's castle can complete. The light cav can support. He'll lose some cav archers. Oh, man. He's losing a lot of cav archers. Capoch is also bringing knights. The castle's at 60%. But most of the skirms are going down. It's at 80% now. That goes up. Wow. TaToH is getting tusk swords, which you never see in Castle Age. That adds extra attack to elephants. And he is massing rams here, guys. TaToH is going to try and push the middle with rams and elephants. I think it's going to work. Like, what went wrong here for Capoch? He had such crazy control. He still has really nice control, but TaToH is clawing this back. Look at this. So he's got 12 plus 5 attack. So he's got fully upgraded Castle Age elephants. And Capoch is going to lose that crazy castle. Such a sick job from TaToH to macro behind this, by the way. The farms, still no horse collar, by the way. The farms are awesome. He also got 3 relics, which has certainly helped. And now, what's to stop TaToH from continuing to just push in towards the TCs here that Capoch has? Capoch is dropping a castle here. TaToH's going to drop one as well. But elephant beats knight each and every time. And TaToH has 11 elephants. Capoch can't save his TC. The cav archers from TaToH are on the way. This castle might be denied. Capoch is about to lose the game. What an unbelievable pushback from TaToH. I thought he was so dead. How on earth has he been able to afford this? The castle for Capoch will probably go up. But there's still rams. There's still elephants that could just... No! No! It's denied at 99%. He just needed to click it. But I mean, even still, he's going to lose these vills eventually. TaToH can't be stopped. These elephants, by the way, these 11 elephants have 38 kills. Crazy value. Castle's denied. TCs are going down everywhere. And Capoch is looking at his computer stunned right now. He can't believe it. Because again, this season, he's played amazing. And he's still not yet to taste victory. This is over. You can't stop it. And by the way, camels don't really do that much against elephants. I think they do have some bonus damage, but it's nothing crazy. I don't even know the exact stats. It's not enough to stop an elephant. Normally, the counter to the elephant is you have to stop them from getting there almost. But man, oh man, TaToH somehow got there. That's crazy, man. Unbelievable. Tusk Swords and Castle Age. Full ram push. Man, when this castle went up, I thought this was over. Am I crazy? Well, whether or not I'm crazy is kind of besides the point. I still think that Capoch is going to want that one back. This castle goes up. Okay, so he's behind by 20 vils, but like, he's got such good control on the map. I think this is what happens to Capoch here. Capoch thinks that he's in a good position to just boom a lot. And he felt as though Chukunu Skirm, kind of like I did, would be good when he ran out of gold at a really awkward time. So I don't think he realized he had 6 on gold. I want to just move ahead. Yeah, so like, he's trying to queue Chukunu and maybe even trying to queue knights for all we know. And he just doesn't have gold income. Look at how much TaToH has on gold. 16. You move ahead. Still 16. Now it's 1 for Capoch. You move ahead 2 for Capoch. And then like panic moment because things start to go wrong a little bit. Maybe then he shifts more over to gold. But I don't know. Like I was noticing a lot of fights where the skirms are getting picked off. So I think that's part of it. He really needed some support there in the meat shield. But TaToH still had 5 rams ready. That's crazy that like almost immediately TaToH had the rams prepped. The Capoch wasn't able to notice that, I guess. And TaToH somehow took some really good fights there. Also, how important was it that TaToH cut through here? If TaToH didn't cut through here, maybe he still comes out. But I think that was a nice distraction, right? What allowed the ram push to work is the fact that Capoch had to respect to deal with all of this. And then the army couldn't be there for the rams. What a great game from TaToH. And that has got to make TaToH feel very good. Capoch going to be very disappointed because he's now 0-4. I'm personally a little bit on the Capoch hype train. I've really liked his performances thus far. I think it'd be very, very sad for him to not get a victory. And I said before the series that he's got the perfect civs and his perfect map for the next game. So I'm expecting a big response from Capoch. So game 1 was a doozy, as someone just said. And here we are, guys. We've got Capoch's favorite map. You go all the way back and you look at tournament results. Usually, if Cross is in the map pool, he's going for it. Now, Capoch has a pretty unique style when it comes to this. Usually, and I don't know if that'll happen here with this civ, but usually what he loves to do is he loves to go full wall at home, and then he likes to send villagers to every corner. But I don't know with the Huns how defensive you can really play. I still think that we're going to see Capoch go YOLO for the pawns. Like, he's really quick to doing that. Now, TaToH's got a civ that could maybe not want to prioritize taking control of the other pawns. Like, maybe Capoch, maybe TaToH will be happy with one pawn with Malay because their fish traps are so insane. Then you're not disrupting the opponent's fish on the other sides. There's some downsides to that, of course, but I mean, we've seen it with the Malay before. So, and Capoch was ahead in 2 of his games against ACCM, and ACCM never died. Capoch was ahead in the previous game against TaToH, and TaToH never died. Capoch needs wins. Like right now, based on the level Capoch is showing, I think he will be very competitive against everyone in the group. Against Winchester, against Dogal, against MBL. I mean, Capoch MBL is absolute cinema every single time you see it. That's just guaranteed entertainment for the viewers. But what you don't want is you don't want to be down lots of games. Right now, MBL and Vinch, for example, are sitting at 3 wins after 2 rounds. So Capoch needs to be closer to that. And Capoch, for now, just 4 on wood, kind of standard stuff. Scouting around with some pigs. And we'll go for a dock in the north, most likely. But yeah, Huns typically play very aggressive. If they do end up playing defensive, though, it's all about Cav Archers in the Castle Age. T90, do you like Dravidians? I like Dravidians. Dravidians and I can be in the same room together and be very civil. If I'm having a very small party, though, and I'm only able to invite 5 civs, I'm not sure Dravidians get the invite. Does that make sense? So I'm not that... I don't love the Dravidians, but, you know, I respect the Dravidians. The Dravidians and I can still have a good time. But Dravidians aren't, like, my first call if I'm hosting a party. Yeah. I feel like, and this is like, I assume that the community realizes that this is happening, but, like, for content's sake... It's great to be extreme, so it's like, yeah, Dravidians are the best. No, Dravidians are literal ass. You know, like, and then people pick sides, and then it's like, oh, Dravidians. You know, I'm not firmly, I'm kind of lame. I'm not firmly picking sides on that. I'm like the more evenly balanced outlook. They could be very strong in certain situations, and other times they have their struggles, and I explain those pros and cons. I think the weakness for Dravidians on this map, for example, would be you really just need some knights sometimes. That's why I prefer Japanese. Like, Japanese knights aren't great, but you could still make them. Capoch will scout here and sees a straggler, sees a house. Panic time? Nope. Okay. Another game where TaToH just doesn't really garrison his TC when the scout is there. I think TaToH just doesn't trust that scout is going to take any damage. He doesn't trust the TC, so he doesn't want the idle time. A dock in the south from TaToH. Something to mention, having this extra vision with melee on your docks is crazy for this map. Because a lot of people are in the darkness on that. So Capoch, for example, if he's getting sneak docked, he doesn't really know. So you get Town Watch with melee, and you might see the entire pond with that dock. When you're up against Capoch, though, you have to know that he might be sending a Vil anyways. Look, he even used a sheep to scout this whole shoreline ahead of time. And now he's looking. He's like, oh, yeah, that's my spot. That's my spot. I could tell Capoch is thinking about that. MDM Lucas, thanks for the 15. Says, let's go, TaToH. Give Dogao a chance to avoid relegation. Well, I mean, Dogao needs to outperform... He needs to get out of 6th and 5th position. So Dogao, I think, will actually have a really good fight to get relegated. But, like, TaToH 3-0ing here doesn't necessarily help Dogao. I guess it is, but I could see why Capoch would be seen as competition for Dogao, so that's fair. Binary Hood, thank you. Sate Lol, what's up? I am Dad, thank you. Ekims Morton, thank you. Silence, thank you for the 2 months. That guy, thank you, everybody. Salutes, please. I didn't have a single sub shout out during the previous game. I suck. So TaToH's up, and he's up super quick. And this scout is definitely checking to see for a sneak right now. Yeah, it's so funny. TaToH knows Capoch so well. Thank you, Gibson, for the salute. I respect it. Yeah, so he knows Capoch could do this. Double checking now. Wall this side. And he's sneaking a dock. Now look at the positioning of it. The more natural arrival location would be here. And I'm glad I pointed that out because now Capoch is checking. And Capoch would normally assume the dock is here. He would not assume the dock would be there. Now, does Capoch check thoroughly, or does he just assume that TaToH's not there? That's kind of a big deal. He confirms it. Okay. So he knows TaToH is there. The Capoch is on this side with his own dock. So 2 pawns for each player at the moment. TaToH just now building a barracks. Capoch is already on a stable. Capoch is making scouts. So Capoch, knowing about the dock over here, will sneak his own dock. Now, you have to sneak really far if you want to hide that from the melee. And TaToH's adding a galley to eventually deny that. That may not be in time. And the barracks also might not be in time. There's no spearman out yet for TaToH. And Capoch goes to get the kill. And TaToH gets the crazy quick walls, and it's only 2 scouts. I think TaToH could be okay for a second. And Capoch will fish away this side. Look how many fishing ships Capoch is adding, by the way. He's crazy on this map. He's adding fish. He added fish in the north. He's adding fish here. TaToH has this gold in the back. I wanted to see if Capoch saw that. So he knows when he runs into walls that TaToH should have gold back there. Yeah, this is kind of the expected approach from the Malay, in my opinion. TaToH thinks this pond is safe right now. TaToH thought his base was safe, and the scouts are here. That is a dead vill. Nice snipe there from Capoch. I don't know if you want to run in there with your scouts, though. I think you just have to accept that your opponent's going to wall up. Now, Capoch hasn't seen all the walls, so maybe he thinks this is still open. He certainly will know. If he holds this map control in mid-castle age, TaToH eventually just runs out of gold. But TaToH is just trying to use those timings with the Malay. He doesn't want any crazy engagements, and that's always bad to see if you've added the galley. It's good that he scouted it, I guess, but that galley will do nothing against a fire. And it just didn't accomplish what it set out to do. I think Capoch just realized he can't sneak dock. Funnily enough, he could sneak dock from this side with this vill. TaToH's using a spearman now to double check that. TaToH sees this. Spearman will probably just get picked off. It is a Malay spearman, though. It's got some extra armor. It's actually kind of tough to engage into. And Capoch now realizes he's been spotted on this side, so he'll drop a fire galley as well. Capoch has done a crazy job investing into the ponds. He really has. But, I mean, TaToH's also done a fantastic job. Only lost one vill. Could probably just retaliate now and get this kill. Capoch says, screw it. I don't care. Let him die, because I want to go kill TaToH. But it's tough to do damage, man. It's really tough to do damage. Front of TaToH's base is god-awful, but he's been able to find a way to wall this. And that's just not something Huns usually can say the same of. Because you just don't build houses, so you don't have natural buildings to block off your eco. Typical for Malay, right? Defense into pushing the timings in Castle Age. And TaToH's tiny little army here just idles. Doesn't do too much more than that. Capoch is still massing fires here. Capoch's archers are through. This is a lot of pressure on TaToH right now, but the execution has to be good with the archers. And TaToH has an equal archer count here as he drops the second range. Now, this is where the Malay would want a fish trap. You're running out of food, so this is where the fish trap should be coming up, usually. I think Capoch... well, I don't know if Capoch will have an opportunity here. We'll see. Really good job from Capoch and TaToH to produce in this pond. But yeah, TaToH's so distracted defending on land, and Capoch is like, I'm not going away, dude. He always has production. It's crazy. Doesn't have a vill here for repairs, though. TaToH backs away there. TaToH gets the snipe there. But TaToH's still under pressure right here as well. Still wondering if Capoch will ever send this vill to try and sneak a dock. If you could take the Malay player's pond away, it could be so good. I think the paranoia is starting to set in right now for Capoch because he hasn't seen the archers behind the walls. He's still pretty exposed. I think he's scared that those archers from TaToH are going to be at his base. TaToH will see the scouts. And there's the archers now from Capoch as well. He's got an opportunity here. And just half a second there from Capoch. He didn't see it. We knew he was looking for it, but he loses two archers. Capoch is going to go knights here. And we'll see how Capoch plays this, but it feels like he is going to lose control of that pond. Still no fish traps for TaToH. His food eco will run out. Capoch has to abandon the wood line. These are nervous times for him, but it's not the biggest crossbow mass ever from TaToH. In fact, it's a really small amount. I also like this from Capoch. Do something with your archers other than fight with them in the middle right now. Now, the Cross is a map that's been in competitive AoE for a long time. Capoch is a player who's been in competitive AoE for a long time. He went away for he left for 10 years. He was really good in the mid-2000s, came back 2018 or something. But before the fish traps were part of anyone's talking point, before the Malay even existed, right? as TaToH deletes his second market, funnily enough. It was all about transitioning into the farms and the TCs now. And that's what Capoch has done. He's 2 TCs. A lot of it was about knights as well. Crossbow timing wasn't as common. A lot of fish, a lot of knights. TaToH, though, has been able to play so defensive. He's making it so difficult for Capoch to find damage. It must be so frustrating for Capoch. 3 ranges right now for TaToH. Capoch doesn't really have that many knights. That's a crazy forward siege workshop. I mean, you complete that siege workshop, good luck to TaToH moving out. But the fact that he's even doing that is wild to me. I mean, that siege workshop's going to complete because TaToH's reacting. Also, I think Capoch is just going to have the... Ooh, I should try and bring my Vil thought. It feels like natural, right? You see the shoreline? It's their starting dock, their melee. Maybe not. I don't know. You know what else is, like, natural is 3 TC boom and just map control. So. TaToH just now dropping his second TC. Another game where Capoch is playing like an absolute beast. His first round was delayed because he was on vacation. So I kind of expected that he would come in here rusty. Well, at least in the first round, I thought he'd be rusty. I didn't think he was. Maybe a little bit. But not massively. You just got to somehow figure it out. You got to somehow get a win here because going 0-5 would be brutal. Obviously, still 3 more rounds. You could argue that ACCM and TaToH were his toughest opponents in the group. But at least MBL got a win off of TaToH. No one else has gotten a win off of ACCM yet. What crazy map control from Capoch, though. Yeah, okay, so now he even sees the fish traps. I'd be thinking, I gotta get to that somehow. But there's so much to do. There's so much to manage here. I also don't think Capoch will add any fish traps, like TaToH's doing. I think if he does do it, it'll be like randomly. It'll be like the T90 farms of fish traps. Just bam, 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 bam. Just randomly placed back there. Okay, he just lost his scout on the left. And so he should know the army from TaToH's over there. TaToH's been patient. Reminds me of when he played up against MBL. He really waits till he gets a big crossbow mass, keeps it alive, and then moves out. Now, his base is being attacked. This is also what he did against MBL. He's trying to go guard tower defense. And here's TaToH. Capoch has no defense. Capoch needs to react. It's going to be a slaughter here. But it also is kind of awkward for TaToH here as well. It's really good damage there from TaToH's crossbows. And the tower goes up. And guard tower upgrade will complete. So, yeah, you can't really siege push TaToH. I think TaToH's 2 more towers away from fully protecting his base. That doesn't mean, though, that TaToH actually gets easy access back to this gold, though. Yeah, in previous game, TaToH not having Horse Collar may be a conversation. On this map, when you're fish trapping, it's pretty expected. Making farms and making triple range crossbowmen and also making fish traps and making fishing ships and adding TCs, that's a lot of wood. He doesn't have enough wood to do it all. And Capoch hasn't fish trapped, so it feels pretty natural. And oh, no way, dude! No way! It's in the only area of the pond that TaToH can't see. Wow! TaToH could see every other aspect of the pond. He thinks he's fine. He's melee. He's got all the vision, right? Not enough vision, bro. Not enough vision. Oh, this could be the game-ending moment. Even just 2 fires there, when upgraded, will kill the fish so fast. TaToH won't be able to focus on the middle at the same time. Now, TaToH's not getting hit by that yet. Oh, man. Oh, man. Okay, I mean, I thought Capoch had an opportunity for a trap there. I don't know about you guys. If his knights were a bit further forward, he could have got to the other side. He is chasing down those crossbows. But TaToH might be able to do the same thing. He might be able to sneak right back behind his guard towers again. And there's the first fire. Oh, that's so rough. TaToH has to get War Galley. TaToH has to save his fish. This is his food income. He does save his crossbows, but this is supposed to be for an imp timing here. He's supposed to be clicking up to imp with food eco. He just doesn't have the food eco anymore. Oh, man. TaToH gets a free kill there. That is a ton of crossbowmen. But the fish traps have been disrupted. That was huge from Capoch. Now, what does Capoch do from here? Does he continue to produce knights? Does he continue to produce siege? He's getting town watch. I think he lost track of the army there for a second. TaToH's showing a lot of confidence with this group. It feels like Capoch's plan is imp now, which is really patient play. I think a lot of people just queue up more knights and want to send it, right? Here comes TaToH for a tower. Capoch sees this. Now, can you let this go up? I don't think so. You have to engage here, I think. You just cannot allow TaToH to get this gold back. This is kind of the approach to stop TaToH from taking the gold. How is TaToH supposed to fight this? The crossbows can't stick around, which means the tower will be denied. Okay, it isn't denied. But still, I think it could just go down to the knights. It's actually very tricky. Wow, one tower does so much there. Guard towers are crazy. Big shot from Capoch could be incoming. TaToH's waiting for it, expecting it, keeping an eye on it, watching it, waiting for it. And Capoch does nothing. Okay. Capoch will click in. I think he might be missing a building. Yeah, he's missing a building. He'll drop that now. Stupidville. Okay. And now TaToH's sneaking to the left side. I'd like to see outposts from Capoch. He does have outposts on the right, so we could see the crossbows are coming this way. And honestly, TaToH's got nothing to stop this. Capoch can take TCs. And all the fish are gone as well. But also now, Capoch has nothing to stop this. What? Okay. So both players are going to get absolutely massacred. Capoch has the bigger eco. So he's got more to lose. And he's split up these knights. He's taking out the tower. TaToH splits. TaToH needs this crossbow army to win him the game right now. And that was crazy micro. Who said that siege is supposed to counter archers? That's just simply not true. But it has to be, you still have to be patient here if you're TaToH. You still can't, be as aggressive as the knights can be. And Capoch killed 36 eco over the last few moments. He's now dropping a forward castle with one villager, by the way. And while it is tough, he is still imping and he does have army to bring back. Wow, he actually denies the TC there from TaToH as well, so TaToH won't get protection over the gold. Capoch will lose his fish traps now. I'd kind of like to see a demo here, but I don't think it would ever work. Props to Capoch for bringing this much pressure here against TaToH. TaToH is such a good defensive player. I don't think TaToH ever gets imp, guys. His plan was fish boom. He doesn't have a fish boom. He doesn't... He's only now adding farms. It's kind of funny how Capoch just stopped making... He just stopped making siege altogether. He's like, nope, not going to work. I just need knights now. And I need to wait for upgrades. I think you go for the final armor here. There's maybe even an argument to sell all your wood and your stone to ensure you can get Cavalier and final armor. Once that's in, TaToH loses everything he has. And TaToH might even tap. We'll see. He does. Capoch gets a win. What a great game. That was really well played. I mean, I kind of said it before, because someone who maybe didn't see Capoch play this map before asked, like, why pick this map against TaToH? Like, this is one of the best maps for TaToH. Well, yeah, well, that may be the case, but this is a rare instance where it's an even bigger favorite for the opponent. And Capoch has always been super sick on these maps. He was really fast to trying to disrupt TaToH on the left side pond. He was really fast to taking the right side pond. He later on prioritized the southern pond, and he was really active with his army. And it wasn't easy because TaToH walled up so much, but ultimately he got those TCs down really fast, got that big eco lead, and knew that if TaToH was going to play that defensive, he needed to disrupt him on the gold there. Yeah, it was pretty much the same exact game plan that TaToH used when he played up against MBL, guard towers, fish boom, and he wanted Imperial Age, but he just didn't have the food for it anymore after the sneaky dock. And I think even without the sneaky dock, I'd be very interested to see how that game plays out. I think I think TaToH still kind of struggles to get imp, but obviously maybe that's still a possibility. It's not like TaToH would have competed with the food eco Capoch had there. Capoch still would have had a better one. So 1 win from Capoch. And honestly, man, I mean, game 1, Capoch should have won, could have won. He wins game 2. I mean, who's to say that Capoch can't get another win now? Well, I thought we were going to see Bohemians or Portuguese for Capoch. He actually goes for Byzantines here on fortified clearing. Wow. I mean, Byzantines, really good late game, really good options. It's very cheap, easy to survive, but they don't necessarily have the crazy strengths that you think of when you think of a lot of the picks here. So he skips over 2 really solid gunpowder civilizations to go for the Byzantines. Now, I wonder if that means he might be tempted to use the outside aspect of fortified clearing here. Because, like, Byzantines are somewhat associated with going forward. And if it's just a boom game and adapt, I think Hindustanis could kind of like their position there. Or you just go full turtle, you go 4 TC boom, and you try and get to a bunch of skirms, bunch of halbs, and just survive forever, which, if that happens, we could have a really long game on our hands. But nice job from Capoch. This group would be the most interesting if Capoch wins this game. Because you'd have ACCM at the top with 6 wins. You then have MBL at 3, Winchester at 3, TaToH at 3, Capoch at 2, and then Dogao at 1. If TaToH wins this, he then has 4 wins, so it's ACCM 4. Or sorry, ACCM 6, TaToH 4, Vinch 3, MBL 3, and then Capoch and Dogao at 1. So, I guess we'll see. Need to tab out for a sec and just check my alerts. All that good stuff needs to be visible. Okay, sorry about that. But yeah, for those that didn't hear at the start of the stream, so the schedule today was this series and then Doubt and Leary. Unfortunately, Doubt is very sick. So Doubt Leary will not happen today after all. That'll be this upcoming week. We'll do a double Doubt week and a double Leary. Best wishes to Doubt getting over his illness too, because apparently it's quite bad. So Lara says, hey T90, when casting a wreck, do you know the result? No. That would obviously be horrible. I don't know if I could ever cast Rex if I knew the results ahead of time. There have been some instances where I've accidentally spoiled myself in the past where things weren't handled as well in terms of the way we handle Rex. But basically, if it's a best of 5, let's say, and it's Rex, I still receive 5 Rex regardless. So you never know based on how many games you receive what the series looks like. So that's I guess an understandable question, but I don't look at the scheduling rooms or any of that stuff post games because I don't want to spoil myself for the action here. I did not say soiled myself. I said spoiled. Thank you. Okay. Yankees win says, is there a timer on the wreck? Like if the end is near, you know whoever is in the lead will win. That gives it away. So there's no timer on the wreck, but technically, listen to this, guys. Like, these are interesting questions, but there's actually some great answers because our community's awesome. So, it is true. Back in the day, like years and years and years ago, in theory, I could look at the recorded game file, and I could see the size of the file, and I could know that it was like a fake wreck, right? So then, for like a year or two, what we did was we would repeat Rex. So, like, let's say it's a best of 5. It only goes to the 4th game. Game 5 would then be a duplicate of Game 2's Rec, okay? But then you could look at it and you could say, okay, the size is the size of a long game, but it's the same size as another file, so you know it doesn't go to 5 games, right? Okay, present day, there's actually a way we use the same rec, but we change the size of the file to make it look like it's its own game. Is this making sense? I don't know the technical stuff behind it, but basically, unless I look at the actual games, there's no spoilers. So that was a recent thing that came in. So now the recs are all different sizes. You really have no clue. But yeah, I I know you guys have probably been told file size doesn't matter, but when it comes to spoiling Rex, technically it does. But in other aspects, it's the size doesn't really matter. So, TaToH wants a Vil pick here. Capoch is trying to quick wall. And he's trying to full wall, and then he saves the villager quick walling. But yeah, Capoch is just trying to play super safe here. Walling up the outside. I've been very surprised by the amount of people that are walling like this in Dark Age. I really don't love it. Because it's worse for your economy, and no one is going, yeah. Like this is actually what I prefer. This is why I brought it up, because I could tell TaToH was going to do it. This accomplishes the same exact thing for the time being. You're never going to build a TC back here anyways. I don't know, though. I guess maybe at the end of the day, it's not that big of a difference. I'm just picky sometimes, you know? Bobby Table says, T90, why not choose a random rec from a different series? Well, because it's a pain. It's probably because it's a pain in the ass for admins to go to other sets and grab the recs, right? So if you have a tool that just simply duplicates files and then just changes stuff to make it look legit, that's all you need. So yeah, we're in a good spot. But I understand why people ask those questions, because I guess in theory, you know, I've got a lot of inside access and information. I could be bringing this to you guys with already knowing the result myself. So I think this will be scouts from TaToH. He's building the barracks on the back. And Capoch is just going to boom. Man, I mean, I'm ready to be proven wrong. But I really would have preferred just a straight boom with the Bohemians here. I cannot be convinced, at least right now, that playing Bohemians is not putting yourself in a better position. Civ is so good, man. There's the market. There's the blacksmith from Capoch. And Capoch... Again, he's not choosing a Civ that is necessarily better if the game is played perfectly. I think that would be Bohemians. Just like I think that would have maybe been Byzantines in the previous game. But he's picking a Civ that he's comfortable with. That gives you lots of outs, lots of protection, especially the Byzantines. They just got good options. If the game's messy, Byzantines are better. If the game is perfect, I think Hindustanis are probably a bit better. TaToH dropping his stable and his blacksmith as we expected. There's 3 relics on this side. There's only 1 relic on the other side. And then the 5 relics are in the middle. And Capoch is just going to boom. Boom and adapt seems to be the play. T90, why am I so fat? I don't have any answers for you there. Sorry? I think the source of your problems could be the fact that you're coming to someone who talks about video games to ask for some help there. I would find someone that's maybe more reputable than me to discuss that. Eat a little bit less, move a little bit more, and slowly over time, things could maybe change a little bit for you. Yeah, TaToH's base doesn't look great right now. I understand why people think that, but you can always just build a gate, move out here anyways. This doesn't stop you from moving out. It's just in case your opponent's aggressive. Someone wanted me to count the palisades. There's 15 palisades from TaToH. Capoch built 27. But Capoch he did that when he was below 20 vils as well, so it did delay his eco a little bit. We'll see TC number 2 for Capoch. What is that town center? What? I don't love it. I mean, I guess it's not horrible. Normally, it's directly on a resource, though. So that's... I guess could send vils to gold, send them to wood. This TC's good. And Capoch is not going for relics at all. Now, that I actually kind of like. Because... I think Byzantines win or lose this game. Well, on a map with 9 relics, maybe I don't like it. But no, you don't have any flexible bonuses whatsoever surrounding getting relics. So Capoch is essentially saying, Hindustanis have a crazier late game. They've got the Imp Camel, they've got the 9 range hand cannons. cheap vills, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just going to kill him before that. Kind of crazy, though, how TaToH's monastery is in the back. If he gets castle dropped with a fast imp, the relics will actually be somewhat safe. Usually the monastery's on the front. So I don't know. Maybe TaToH's thought about that. He must have. Yeah, he actually saw the market in the blacksmith, so he knows this is straight boom. Well, he knows it's straight boom. Or he will know that it's like triple monastery monks or something crazy. But the longer he goes without seeing anything in the middle, the more he knows it's boom. And if it was monks, he would have the scouts anyway, so he's fine. T90, is it possible for you to set the thumbnail from the Twitch VOD? I think it may be possible to do. I don't know if I really am able to do that. I guess that my struggle would be I wouldn't know what to put on the VODs. To have to do it immediately would be a lot of additional editing work on top of all the uploads going to YouTube 4 times a day. But I can see why if VODs show like an auto thumbnail that it could spoil some things for you. I mean, it might be better to watch VOD form on YouTube anyways, but it's also not as fast. And some people want to watch the VOD on Twitch, which is completely understandable. It's like readily available, so. I can understand that. I never thought about that. I didn't realize that the thumbnail could spoil some stuff, so. I will see if something's realistic. Because no VOD watchers are not going to watch it if it's just like the same generic thumbnail, potentially. If I just had it say round 1 or round 2 or whatever for each and every one, I think people would still probably dig through them if they wanted. I would hope so anyways, so. T90, have you considered moving your merch to a different site? Yeah, I'm already in the process of it, actually. It'll take me some time. Teespring was good for many years, but it's starting to have some issues for people, so I've got some things in the works. I've got some pretty dope things in the works. Don't know if it'll necessarily be worth all the time and effort. You know, we'll see. That's the same with anything, right? Even TTL, I'm kind of feeling out the situation, so we'll see. All right, so I love this from TaToH. I think that TaToH has correctly assessed the situation, and it's just these tiny little details. So obviously he's getting relics, but he knows he wins this game the longer it goes. And so to have a longer game, he's now going to try and keep Capoch in Castle Age, make TaToH fight for a position. He doesn't want Capoch to just be able to make like 3 spears, protect his vills, and build a castle in the middle. So this is a really good addition. I do also really like the scout activity from Capoch, by the way. I mean, that's pretty top tier to keep an eye on that, to know this is coming. But TaToH is going to go aggressive. He also is on stone, I think, for an eventual defensive castle for the fast imp. But he's got 4 relics right now. Also, villager coming forward. This is why, though, like, we'll see how it plays out. Capoch obviously has a pretty distinct game plan. But the best players on closed maps, if you give them map control, they are going to make life very difficult for you. This is why usually you see map control focus in boom versus map control focus in boom. Because there's one player's not immediately in the reactive state. Now, there's the castle from Capoch. And honestly, I love it. I mean, you got to get that castle down as quickly as possible. TaToH's got siege on the way. Now, TaToH bringing the vills now. I mean, now if you go forward castle against Byzantines, I'm not sure I'm in love with it. Is this all-in Castle Age attack from TaToH? I thought we'd see a castle here. I thought this would delay Capoch. And he would just try and imp then. But now you're giving Capoch an opportunity to treb your castle down. I like this from TaToH. He'll stonewall that side. It doesn't move, it doesn't deny the gold from Capoch, but I don't know if you could ever do that. This is wild. Very surprised that TaToH's investing this much. But, I mean, the pressure has forced Capoch's first castle to be here. And that enough that is already enough for me to be somewhat happy with the situation if I'm TaToH. And he's getting all the relics. And he's walling the outside. He just needs to brace himself now. Triple mangonel for him. He'll be through the gate. He'll be through some houses. But Capoch has his own mangonel to defend. That next castle is honestly the key from Capoch. Imagine if he had one Vil building outpost to see that TaToH had nothing out here and could just YOLO a castle up on the front. TaToH's got very little army to do anything about that. TaToH's getting armor and bloodlines right now? What? He's going to stay in castle. Man, this is crazy. I mean, I've always associated some all-ins from TaToH, with TaToH, but it feels like over the past 12 to 16 months, he has fallen in love with it more and more. Again, expected more of a defensive castle. He goes for the offensive castle. He's now getting armor and bloodlines. He's now getting armor again. Is Capoch going to expect this much aggression? I think Capoch thought that it would stop as well. 1-for-1 with the mangonels. Loom isn't in for Capoch, so he loses a Vil. But he has spears. He can make a Treb now. And TaToH is stuck in Castle Age. Still producing Vils. Now producing camels. I mean, if Capoch goes pikes and Trebs, I think TaToH could have some big problems here. But you're never, like, that's so funny, is Capoch is never expecting him to actually do this. Because it feels so... It feels kind of foolish, honestly. To go for this many camels against Byzantines when they already showed spearmen. But TaToH's also going for Ghoulims as well. TaToH just wants to take the Treb. Capoch doesn't have a lot of army right now. And I think now Capoch is realizing, what? He's actually committing more? This is crazy. Pikeman upgrade still isn't in for Capoch. He's got chemistry on the way. He does have a cataphract in his castle. His eco is very idle right now. 6 relics for TaToH behind this, and Capoch building another castle. See, that's a castle you place when you have no map control. But I'm telling you guys, if Capoch could have gone forward for even a castle in the middle here, that would really help his chances of pushing TaToH once this castle's down. TaToH's army, TaToH's vision, everything he has is just to buy himself time right now. And he has stopped the production. And he will click up to Imp. Also, oh my... The bear killed TaToH's villager. Woo, woo, woo. Oh, man. He was building something over here, and then the castle went up. So, tricky spot for TaToH. So Capoch is now out of stone. He cannot build another castle easily. Still no pikeman upgrade. He will have 2 Trebs. TaToH is actually out of stone right now, but I'm sure he can find some. There's stone on the outside he's shifting to right now. TaToH's also going to build a siege workshop from this side, so he's really looking to control the sides. 8 relics. And he's setting up his archer ranges in the back because he knows Capoch will come for a big push through the middle. But I hate this castle because you haven't played towards good late game things. You haven't played towards relics. I would have loved to have seen a more aggressive castle. But I guess if you have 3 castles now, that's still good. And Byzantines are Byzantines. Like, even if your opponent has more golds, they have cheaper units. And they can counter anything the opponent can send at them. On a scale of 1 to 10, how worth it was this attack from TaToH, do you guys think? I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 because he got, like, tons of upgrades that I don't think he really needed. Like the armor, for example. I don't actually think he really needed it. Could have maybe been Imp a little bit faster, but it did accomplish a lot because it gave him some map control. It gave him some time. He's got the distractions working. I think Capoch has told his units to go kill those, but it's walled, so he can't get there. And yeah, now he deletes. Now he'll engage. And now he's pushing, guys. This is where it gets serious. Capoch has 125 Vils. Capoch will clear this. He will need to re-wall immediately. Now, here's the push from Capoch. Now, that Treb is on its own. That Treb needs to get out of here. And that Treb is relatively unprotected right now. That's going to be a wasted Treb there from Capoch. Oh, man. Wasteful. But he's going to start his push now. Hand cannons are on the way. Bombard cannons are already here. He may bring the Vils and drop another castle. TaToH's castle is there. That'll be the target. TaToH got Grand Trunk Road. So his golden comes insane right now. And he's actually moving his relics further back. So I like this from TaToH. I would probably not move my relics back because I already have this monastery pretty far back. But he's preparing even an extra level of defense just in case. And he's waiting to make hand cannons. Now, kind of a wild thing here. TaToH needs his unique tech. He needs Shiitake to get 9 range on his gunpowder. If he doesn't get that, he just has average gunpowder. And his castle is starting to go down. So I never really paid attention to how fast the technology research is, but that's really important right now. I feel like he's probably going to get it. But just barely. Yeah, he'll get it. And then siege engineers as well. So this will be bombard cannons from TaToH and hand cannons. Wow, 4 bombard cannons on the way. 9 relics. Okay, over here, Capoch wants map control and he'll build a castle. He's also distracted here on the front. Needs to keep his Trebs alive. Will be difficult to do. TaToH snipes one of them. Castle goes up. I think Capoch will be fine there. That's actually a really good spot for Capoch. But he did lose a bombard cannon, and TaToH's holding the front now. And that's really, at the end of the day, that's all TaToH really wants right now, is to just hold until the opponent runs out of golds. Yep. Capoch pretty much denies anything being possible there. Does anyone remember a game on Arena? I think it was Jordan and... Well, chat, I'm going to need your help. It was Jordan... I think it was Jordan TaToH maybe on Arena. I think it was Byzantine's Turks. And I think the Turks player had 5 relics, full map control, and the Byzantines player just hung on because their units are much cheaper. I definitely would... I mean, Hindustanis are very different from Turks. I would prefer them, but... Just saying there's a memory in my brain where the Byzantines got this job done anyways, but yikes. Capoch will try to go this way. It's walled. He's getting elite cataphract now. But that is a lot of army from TaToH. Capoch won't necessarily have the time, will he? TaToH's hand cannons and bombard cannons have been the perfect play. Loses one to the Treb. Could lose another to the Treb. Capoch getting upgrades. Capoch is queuing skirms as well. Capoch... Oh, man, another bombard cannon goes down. He is going to get Logistica, though, so he'll have some trample damage with elite cataphract. That's no joke. Still has stone, still has gold, but is running low on those. Capoch is going to be up against only hand cannons here. I think TaToH might consider Imp Camel in queue behind all this, but TaToH's gone for 59 range hand cannons, and why not? Freezing Point says, I think that game you're thinking of is Jordan TaToH in Season 1. Thank you, Freezing Point. I think that was it as well, yeah. Uh-oh. Oh, boy! But Capoch loses his castle. Okay. Oh, man. I mean, if TaToH can get Imp Camel in front, I know cataphracts don't receive near as much damage against them, but the Imp Camel's still insane. Then TaToH wins the fight. But TaToH doesn't have the camels there yet, so let's see. Feels like Capoch still just doesn't feel like he has enough to fight that. That's still a scary, scary combination. 9 relics for TaToH is crazy here. Just absolutely insane. We've seen this multiple times now, where someone doesn't have a single relic on a map with 9 relics. I think this is the second time now. Like, I just, if your approach is to not go for relics in any capacity, I feel like you've really got to show something in early imp. And credit to TaToH, he delayed the imp attack from Capoch so heavily. And now, TaToH building a castle here. The cataphracts will dive. Here we go. Cataphracts will definitely take those bombard cannons. They'll definitely take the Trebs as well. The castle for TaToH may not go up. The castle's at 98%, 99%. It's denied. The Capoch did lose all of his cataphracts, though, as I was looking at that. Wow, and he didn't even take... Are you kidding me? He didn't even take the trebs. These hand cannons are just too strong, man. 9 range is crazy. Hindustanis have arguably the best late game there is. I think they have the best late game on this map that there is because they can actually utilize the sides with their mobility. On Arena, it maybe is a little bit more questionable. And now Imp Camel is in front. It's just, if it wasn't working before for Capoch, how is it supposed to work now? He's losing the middle. He doesn't have the relics. And TaToH always has consistent siege follow-up. The Capoch's time window, I think, is closing rapidly. And I think there's so much pressure in the middle, he can't even think about trying to raid the sides. You can't. You have to stop this first. You could just tell Capoch isn't perfect, not as suited for the bombard cannon, Treb, early imp war. He likes those messy games. He likes the eco. And he likes to be active in all stages of the game. This has just been a full boom game. But TaToH has truly played this like a home map. And here we go. I mean, how can it get much better for Byzantines? Elite Cataphract in front. Skirms behind. It's not enough, man. These hand cannons have 53 kills. The bombard cannons and the trebs have done great damage against all the buildings here. And if you don't have the front of your base, you're not going to have the rest of your base pretty soon. It's all going to die for Capoch. He's trying to regroup. He's got his ranges here, but he just has no time. Deletes his walls so he can get his units grouped up together here. He just has no time. TaToH even getting fortified wall now, realizing he's being rammed over here. So he's beefing up the walls on the sides too. Capoch's pop is 200. He's got a lot of units in queue. He's going to queue up his own camels. So this is the discount dollar store camel, which you can get a lot of for cheap. TaToH's got the luxury camel, but TaToH has more luxury camels than the dollar store camels. So the luxury camels are going to get the job done here. 160 HP. Full attack, full defense. Castle goes down for Capoch. He will just be completely obliterated here. There's no way he wins this fight. With those hand cannons behind, there's no way. Capoch is trying to use those skirms to focus it down, but you just can't stop the Hindustani late game. And it was all about getting the damage in before it came to all the things that TaToH's using here. Big fight, but probably the final fight. Capoch knows he has to win this fight to win the game. And he's not going to win the fight. His units are disappearing. Capoch taps out, and TaToH wins 2-1. So, yeah, again, I think approach-wise, Capoch didn't have a ton of confidence in his abilities here because he did have Bohemians. He did have Portuguese. He did have civs that I think are overall just better in the late game on this map. I think his plan when picking Byzantines was don't play the normal aspects of the game and just try and kill an early Imperial Age. And so TaToH's little side shenanigans, it disrupted Capoch's attempt. Like, I think if TaToH never does that, this castle from Capoch never happens. I think it happens in the middle of the map, and I think TaToH faces bigger problems early imp because it's more clear in Capoch's mind where he needs to be and what he needs to focus on. That little bit of extra damage there from TaToH rattled Capoch a little bit, and it slowed him down and gave him some more time, and then he got the job done. Well played there from TaToH. So, I've been really impressed with both players so far. TaToH's got 4 wins. We'll look at the group in a second. But my salutes also go out to Capoch. I don't think, even if the odds and like the stats look bad for Capoch right now, I don't think we're finished with him. I think he's going to bring us some really competitive sets over the final 3 rounds. Here's just a quick look at the stats too. Like, you can see TaToH's so far ahead in all the resources that really matter there. The KD was great as well. 6K gold from relics. But like, I want to look at this group right now. I think it's going to be a really crazy group. So I'll tell you the positive for Capoch as we look at this. And this is also positive for Dogal. So they both only have 1 win after 2 rounds. That sucks, right? That's not great. But MBL and Vinch right above them are only at 3. And so Capoch is going to play both of them. Dogal gets to play. Wow, Dogal Capoch is actually a huge 3rd round set. Ooh. Okay, loser of that series is potentially in big trouble, depending on how bad the loss is. But yeah, like Capoch MBL will probably be a banger. TaToH Dogal, probably a banger. Capoch Vinchester, Dogal MBL. I expect all these sets to be really close. ACCM is the only player in the group so far that has looked like insane. But there could be arguments to made maybe if Capoch and Dogal are the worst in the group. That's what made ACCM look insane. So that group, it'll be TaToH Vinchester round 3. Whew. ACCM MBL round 3, and then Dogal Capoch round 3. Really interesting sets. So for the bottom 2 in this group, Dogal played his first 2 rounds on vacation. I believe, and I'll double check with him, but I believe he will be at home base rounds 3 through 5 now. Capoch, he was on a trip, which is why his first series was slightly delayed. Came immediately home and played his rounds the day he got home. He's played good for the first 2 rounds. I think he's in a solid state. I think his games have been great. I think he should have won 2 games here today. I think Capoch and Dogal are no slouches. So yeah, great stuff. And then the only thing we're missing right now, guys, for the end of the second rounds, only series everyone's waiting for is Leary versus Doubt. Leary versus Doubt is postponed, though, because Doubt is very sick. So we will not actually be able to close out the second round right now. Most likely what will happen is Leary Doubt will be broadcast on Friday, and we'll just tack that on. So it'll be like Leary Doubt when Doubt's healthy, combined with all the third rounds, and then we'll need to then see the third round as well for Doubt and for Leary the same week. So that's what will happen with that. But we didn't. Doubt was not good enough to play. Doubt actually wanted to give Leary the win because he felt that sick. And I think we can wait a little bit. Hopefully he gets better. I think giving someone free 3 wins in this format is really unfair to everyone else. And we've got a bit of time, so everyone wish Doubt some luck to feel better.